So we're going to look at the knockdown on the Berimbolo. This is the part of the move that I did wrong for a long time, and it's been taught a couple different ways over time. So the most recent way I learned has been the best, and I went to a Hoffa Mendes seminar, and he went over it, and it really changed how I thought of the move, and made me like it a lot more. But let's look at the old way, and then what I consider the modern way. So here we go. The old way I saw a lot was this effort to make the guy sit down over there. So you grab your belt, usually grab your ankle, and then using this hook to kick the guy that way and try to knock him down. Even putting this foot on the floor to like spin yourself here, try to knock him down. But he's doing what usually happens is they just bounce around, and it's not enough to knock him here. So you're trying to spin, and then what are you going to do? Usually sit, they sit down on you, they hug your hip, and you end up with this leg out here, and you can't, they grab it, and you can't get to yourself to keep spinning. And that's how I'd seen it taught, and it never really worked, so I didn't use it. And then people say, no, you pull them down. And so then you try to do that, and you're here, and you start trying to pull the guy this way. And then you're just a little, they hop around, they squat down, and it's more the same problem. And so those things weren't working out. The thing that helped me was with the Hoffa seminar, it really is a pull down. He was sitting up, grabbing here, and then he put the foot on the belly and just pull down onto himself and bring them over. And you can see he's already in position. I didn't have to spin under very far because he fell over me. And then I can continue with, there we go. I can continue here now with the move. And the idea of being an overhead sweep instead of whatever else the other ones are really changed it, because this is what I would see on the old ways here, and then trying to like kick the guy maybe like this, knock them, and then I'm still very separate. I have to try to spin my way under, but I'm much looser to them. I'm farther down the leg here. This leg is out in the air here. Yeah, push it away. They fight you with this leg, and then you can't get to them. And maybe I try to salvage it into another move. Whereas, watch this way. It was using this left elbow to post and pull yourself up, grabbing the belt, and then not pulling over the head, because even that won't work. Just put your hips, like resist. If I try to pull him over my head, he won't go. So it was putting the foot here, and I'm not pushing on that yet. I'm going to wait until they're over. But then it was this pressure of pulling them down. And you see how it pulls in? There's this feeling in the stomach when you have this belt grip, where you just feel like your whole inside your body is getting pulled to the floor. And then once that happens, I can stretch them over. If I get separated here, I can hop in and connect this leg to the body, because it was never very far away, and then I can start to switch. I think where some of the problems I had came from is there's an old move that we would do that we thought of like the Berimbolo, and it's not. It's when you play De La Riva with this cross grip, and it's usually a counter when they sit. Do the back sit. They sit like this, and so you open up the arm here, and you slide really low on the leg, and then you use that momentum to spin through, and then you would come up into the over-under pass. And that move only really works as a counter to that pass, because it's hard to knock somebody over. If they don't really want to sit there with this grip and this grip, there's not a lot I can do to make them fall here. It has to be that I'm trying to play De La Riva, and then they sit, and then I use that moment. But when I do this move, I end up so far down the leg, and the grips I have, if I try to turn this into a Berimbolo, meaning I take the back, my hooks are all wrong. I'm not going to be able to do that. That's why we finish it here. And so coming from it with that move in my mind made me do it wrong for a long time. But now, when I do it, and this can be with the collar too, instead of trying to knock them over, pull them over like this, it's pulling them down, even pulling my knees in, and then look at this foot. It's not going to swing around, it's not going to go to the floor. It's going to go to the stomach, not too far over because I don't want to get a steam lock, but just right on the stomach here, and then I can pull them over. This foot is never far from where it should be because I can hit the body now, start turning, and then get the back. So those are the different evolutions of how I've done this move and how I learned to do it. And I think that if you start treating it like an overhead sweep, you'll feel how it's different, especially when you get that downwards pull instead of, you're not trying to overhead them like this, you're pulling them in and then you kick them over. So give that a shot.